morning again. Every day when you click on your language arts link, I'm going to read you a story and then we'll do some things with that story. And our first story for this week is The Night Before Kindergarten. That was last night for you, wasn't it? Last night was the night before kindergarten. But that's the title of our book, The Night Before Kindergarten. And the author of this book is a lady named Natasha Wing. What's an author? The author is the person who wrote the story. It's also illustrated by a lady named Julie Durrell. What's an illustrator? If the author wrote the words, the illustrator draws the pictures. Let's read it together and find out about these children's night before kindergarten. The Night Before Kindergarten, written by Natasha Wing, illustrated by Julie Durrell. The Night Before Kindergarten. 'Twas the night before kindergarten, and as they prepared, kids were excited and a little bit scared. They tossed and they turned about in their beds, while visions of school supplies danced in their heads. Erasers and crayons and pencils galore were stuffed in their backpacks and set by the door. Outfits were hung in the closets with care, knowing that kindergarten soon would be there. In the morning it came. School starts today. Would the teacher be nice? Would they still get to play? Their faces were washed and teeth were brushed white. Kids posed for pictures with eyes sparkling bright. Parents packed snacks and kids hopped in cars as if they were boarding a spaceship to Mars. Some kids brought blankets or their favorite stuffed bear in hopes they could nap like they did in daycare. Their parents exclaimed, "You're big kids, wow! Let us hold your bears and your blankies for now." The parents were worried their children would cry if they left them at school with just a goodbye. So they told their darlings, "If you want, we can stay and make sure that everything will be A-OK." The teacher then greeted each one with a smile and invited the students to stay for a while. The room was all filled with toys, books, and maps, but where were the beds for their mid-morning naps? They colored and painted and played Simon Says, then tumbled and skipped and stood on their heads. They sang silly songs from beginning to end. Within just a minute, each kid had a friend. The children were happy. They loved Miss Sunrise. It was she who was in for a giant surprise. When what to her wondering eyes should appear but sad moms and dads who were holding back tears, their noses so sniffly, their eyes red and wet. This was the saddest goodbye Miss Sunrise had seen yet. She gathered the grown-ups on the magical rug, then sent them away after one final hug. The children all waved from the door of the school. "Don't cry, Mom and Dad. Kindergarten is cool." Did you like that story? How was your night last night before kindergarten like the night before kindergarten for these children? Was anything the same? Did you pick out something to wear? Did you get your school supplies or your space for school? Did you get it all ready? We're going to do a lot of the same things that those boys and girls did, but we're going to do them at the beginning of the year at home. how was your time different than the boys and girls in this story? Most things that are different for us is you're doing kindergarten at home, at least for a little while, and they're doing it in the school. But we will try to do a lot of the same things. Now that we've read a story about the first day of kindergarten, do you remember in our morning message I told you that you are going to be the kings and the queens of kindergarten? So you need a crown. My crown right here. And it says, my first day of kindergarten. You have one in your packet that you're going to make too. And you're going to practice using your crayons before we do it. Now, I know you know how to color all the time, but since we're starting school, we're going to review a couple of rules about when we use crayons. And I have some of our rules written right here. Crayons. What are some of the things that we do with crayons? We can color on paper. Can you do that? Mm-hmm. You can draw. You can write. And we use them gently. We don't want to use them hard. We want to use them gently. What are some things that we do not do with our crayons? These are the things that my kindergarten friends last year said. They said, crayons do not draw on the table, draw on the floor, draw on chairs, draw on your friends, don't draw on your friends, draw on name tags, draw on walls, draw on shoes. They only draw on the paper. We don't throw crayons. We don't eat crayons, and we try not to break our crayons. So now that you're ready to do some drawing with your crayons, in your packet, you have a dot to dot. You're going to take your crayon and start on number 1, draw down to number 2, draw over to number 3, draw up to number 4, and then color it. And then you're also ready to color your very own kindergarten crown. When you've got yours finished, Mom and Dad can take the headband, put it around your head, and staple it or tape it together. And send me a picture of you wearing it. I'll put it on our cartoon classroom as part of our kindergarten family scrapbook. Okay, I can't wait to see your kindergarten crowns.